I hear you good too.
Okay, so I just started there. We go live on the gram. Connecting. It says go live. Hold up. Go back out of that. Hold up. I'm at the. Okay, now we live on. We should be live on Instagram too. Yeah, we live on the gram right now as well. So let's see. Yeah, we about a minute early. That's a beautiful thing.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful thing. I gotta get some agua. I ain't got no water. Let me grab a water really quick.
Come on, man.
I gotta get my water right, man. I gotta need some water. We got 1 minute, beloved.
I ain't got no water. Yeah, man. Those who don't know, those who don't know, man. I'm in a, this is all closed in here, man.
Ah, yes, yes.
All
Oh yeah, we here.
right, 7 o'clock, Rick.
We locked in. Got my
All
coconut
right,
water. Oh yeah, we locked in. Get this thing situated
all
over
right.
here. So let's see how we gonna cut this thing up. Yes. Quick sip. We locked in.
Okay. It says live minute 20.
We are live right now, beloved. We are live.
Okay, we live.
Yeah, we live, beloved. That's how this
Hello,
thing
y'all.
works.
Hello out
You feel
there.
me? You feel me? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh man, today's a beautiful day. We are pumped. We are ecstatic. You know we got to start this thing off real right. So, peace to the respectfully greats, and welcome to the Respectfully Great podcast. See, we got a round of applause real quick. Yeah, that's what it sounds like out there. That's what
Okay.
it sounds like out there. Today, I am proud to present a wonderful guest that we have in the building today. Not only is it a guest, it happens to be a relative of mine, right? I want to break this thing. I want to break this thing down like this, right? Um, I wrote something down, so I love to write down, my intro. So here's some of my intros, right? Welcome to the Respectfully Great podcast, and I'm your host, Johnny Reed. And today we have a very special guest, which happens to be a relative of mine, someone who has lived and experienced the street life from hustling, incarceration, overcoming addiction, and breaking the chains of mental imprisonment. Let's give a warm round of respect to my cousin, Pierre Adams.
Okay. I can talk?
Yeah, you talk. They hear you, beloved. They hear you.
Okay. First of all, I like to, a lot of people ain't religious, but I believe in God. I like to thank God just for
Absolutely.
being allowed to come here today, because I remember a time in my life where I probably wouldn't get invited to nothing like this.
Mm.
So it's a pleasure to be on this platform. It's definitely a pleasure and a blessing to be on this platform. I appreciate you through everything, even when I was in my insanity. You always had positive words for me, man. Like, that meant a lot to me, man. Certain things today mean a lot to me. It's not all about materialistic things. It's just, people supporting you through your trials and tribulations. You was always the one, like, your fam, come on now. It's time.
Absolutely.
It's time. It's
Absolutely.
time. You
Absolutely.
understand? So
Absolutely,
I
family.
just want to say I appreciate you. Love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And stay consistent.
Absolutely. I love you more, family, and I appreciate that. That right there meant a lot to me because it keeps that. Those are the things that allow me to want to show up because I know there's so many people that impacted my life, such as yourself. We have a tight knit family, and
Right.
every time we go through things with our family, we're going to hear it, whether we're doing good or bad. It's
Yeah,
gonna go
yeah,
around in
yeah,
a circle. We all gonna
yeah,
get it's like that kid in the neighborhood that one neighbor gives him a whooping. You go next door, he get a whooping from his neighbor. Then all the way up the street until he make it all the way down the block. They get whippings all the way down the block, and we have a
yeah,
tight knit family to where we get pulled by the collar from each other, and that's a beautiful thing
yeah.
because we held
Strong
accountable
collar
for
too.
that. Absolutely.
Yeah. It ain't no babysitting as they call it.
Yep. No
You
question.
understand? Look, it's raw.
Absolutely.
It's definitely raw. And
Absolutely.
you know, I appreciated that, man. I appreciated that. But moving forward, man. I know that what we're supposed to be talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to share a little bit about me.
Absolutely.
You know, those who
Absolutely.
know me, those who don't know me, man. I came through the storm.
Yep.
Decades of penitentiary,
Mm-hmm.
decades. I ain't talking about
Yep.
months, decades of
Decades.
penitentiary, in and
Absolutely.
out of jail,
Yep.
in and out, in and out, in and out. Thought that was, normal
Mm-hmm.
for me to go to jail, come out 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, at a time. And
Right.
for a while, I thought that was normal.
Mm.
When I got locked up, it was like, okay, I'm here, settle in. This is what it is.
Yep.
Strap up, whatever, whatever, man. But like I told you, I believe in a higher power, man. Like
Absolutely.
my daughter, she's 22 years old. I wasn't the father that I was supposed to be.
Correct. Correct.
Bought a few things, but wasn't the father I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So I tell you this to tell you this. Always remember, man, whether it's your higher power or God always moves in the right time.
Absolutely.
And you might not understand his timing, and neither did I for decades. I didn't understand his timing,
Correct.
right? But I have a grandson now.
Mm.
I love him to death. I
Correct.
do for him like I should have done for my child. But I know that this is God or high power, whatever you choose to call it, saying, look, I'm gonna give you another chance at this.
Yep.
You understand? So I believe he give me my grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have to never see me, in my insanity.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? So I just thought that, when I got right, man, like, damn, this was God's calling. This is the time.
Absolutely.
See, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know, man. Like, you know, storms is for a reason.
Correct.
You understand? A lot of
Absolutely.
people don't know storms is for a reason. We go through storms, man. Whether it's to better ourselves, to strong ourselves, whatever it may be, man. They're for reasons.
It's a test.
It's a test, man. Because if you go back, and I don't like to get religious, but if you go back to the Bible, everybody in the Bible was tested.
Mm. Jesus
Everybody
and the
was tested.
disciples. Jesus and the
Everybody
disciples.
was tested, man. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Everybody was tested, man. You know, and same goal for us. We
Correct.
get tested out here, man.
True.
Like even today, man, I've been clean a while now for quite some time now, man. But there's still everyday situations going on.
Correct.
I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not perfect. I just don't have the behavior.
Mm.
See, that's the key word here.
Behaviors.
Behavior that
Absolutely.
I had decades ago. See, it's not about your actions, man. It's really your behaviors that put you in a bind.
That's correct.
You understand? It's not about, blah, blah, blah. It's really our behaviors. That's why
Mm.
today, those who, in treatment, whatever, they don't have drug programs no more.
What do they call
It's
them? They call
called
them something
behavior.
different, right?
They call it behavior modification because they found out that it's your behavior.
Mm.
You understand that
The way you
that
act.
put you in the position that you in. You understand? Getting high, drinking every day, whatever you doing, stealing,
Yep.
whatever you doing, it's your
What you doing?
behavior.
Correct.
It's your behaviors that put you, in bad situations.
So
You
the
know,
behavior is lead follows up with consequences.
right. Now that's another part. You understand? See, I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna say it. When I was out there in the street, man, running wild, blah blah blah,
Correct.
I knew the consequences that came with it.
Mm. You knew that.
See, I knew the consequences that came with it, and that was crazy to know that. I knew the consequences that came with it, and I still did it
Mm.
because I knew it was just a matter of time before they knock on my door or pick me up. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was just a matter of time because that's where the word insanity comes in
Comes in
at.
at. I dig it.
Doing the same thing, looking for a different
Different
result.
result. Yep.
Come on, man.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
I never forget this, man. This is something my older brother, Gene Adams, told me.
Yep.
I called him on the phone, man, one night. I said, yo, man, when I get out, I'm going to kill so-and-so, so-and-so.
Correct.
Right? I ain't going to put their name out there because it don't make a difference today to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, they made a bad move on me. And my brother said, damn, man, how long is it going to be for you accept what part you played in it? Woo!
Ooh.
Wake
That's
up
deep
call.
right there.
Now I'm like,
Whoa.
man, what are you talking about? I'm telling you that so-and-so did this.
Uh.
He said, no, but I just want to, I'm waiting for you to say what part you played in it. Right.
That's deep.
So I'm like, man, this nigga bugging out, right? Blah, blah, blah.
That's
But then
deep.
he broke it down to me.
Yep.
He said, listen, so-and-so can't set me up. You know why? I
Why?
don't put myself in position to be set up.
No
You put
compromising
yourself
positions.
out there for
Absolutely.
that to happen.
Absolutely.
I had to hang the phone up. It's too much reality.
Cousin, I don't mean to cut your wisdom now. I want to start this backed up because you got so much wealth of information and you got so much experience. And we're gonna get back to this point. You said your brother Gene Adams. Bring me back to early childhood because I want people to get an understanding of who you are from
Okay.
we know where you at right now from the things you explain. But I want to take
Okay.
people back to almost like the origins, letting you know let them know the family dynamic. Let them know who you
Okay.
were as a child up until where we at today.
I grew up in a decent household. My mother's, those who know, a very strong woman.
Absolutely.
But I also had our family, my father's side,
Mm-hmm.
so it was a battle with me.
What you mean battle?
I battled for many years. I wanted to do right, man, but I also wanted money.
Now, what age are you talking about? This is
Well, I'm
around.
talking about, I started in the street real young, man.
What's
I
young?
started in the street probably about 14, 15 years old. I was hustling.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And I got to be real with you, man. I got to be so real with y'all, man. My father and my uncle, Arthur Taylor, they was role models to me.
That's who you idolize. That's who you looked up to.
I idolize this, man. You understand?
Correct.
Brand new cars, thousands in their pocket
Cadillacs.
on a daily basis. You know the routine. Customized
Absolutely.
cars every
Absolutely.
year. Come on, man. What young fella don't want to chase this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What young
Correct.
fella didn't want to chase it? So I end up trying to keeping it 100 with y'all now. I never said that. I end up trying to be somebody other than myself.
Ooh.
You understand? I
You.
wanted to be so much like my dad, man. You understand that?
Yeah.
It destroyed me, man.
Let me ask you this. How was early on, right? So normal kids, right? They go, they play sports, they outside, they playing video games, they doing these type of things. Now you telling me
Yeah.
at 14 years old that really wasn't an interest for you. You felt
No,
compelled
let me
to
back
look up
this
into
up.
the
Let me
streets,
go.
and
Read. I was a phenomenon in sports.
you was.
Yes, I was.
See, I didn't know this part. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you didn't know this. I used to pitch. I used to be the pitcher of Glen Cole.
Okay.
And I remember I was a phenomenon. Read, this is no lie to you, those who might know. But all the old timers from the hill came and watched me.
So a child
Everybody from
prodigy.
it,
You was a child
right?
prodigy in sports.
Everybody from the hill came and watched me, man.
Correct.
And I was I got to tell you, I probably was the best in my era.
How did you how did you fit? So when you playing this sport, were you in a happy place? Did you have fulfillment when you played baseball? Was this is something that you looked at like, hey, I
Well,
can
when I
make
was playing baseball, it was at a younger age.
okay.
Now, as I told you, my mother and father disliked each other horribly.
Yeah. That
So
happens,
when I was playing
relationships.
baseball, my mom's sheltered me from that,
Oh, took you away from it.
took me away from that, and
Okay.
I didn't have no communication.
Absolutely. Were you able to communicate though? Were you able to express yourself at this time?
with my mom's.
in general? Like, were you a child that was, if something was on your mind, did you feel like I had to shelter that in? Because you know, children nowadays they feel like they gotta hide their feelings depending on what parent they talking to, what environment that they in. A lot of times, their voices feel like it's sheltered. Did you feel
Well,
like as a
at
child
that
were you able to
time,
express
keeping it real
yourself?
with you, at that time, before I hit teenager, my mother didn't want to hear nothing about that
Okay,
in my household.
got you.
She didn't want to hear nothing about that man's name in my household.
Okay,
So I was bottled up because I really didn't know, damn, what's going on here. But I'm young. That's why I knew who my dad was, but why isn't we not? What's going on here?
together as a family, and why we ain't communicating together?
Not even as a family, we lived in the same town. Why is it
There's distance.
separation? Why is it
Absolutely,
distant?
separation. Yep,
You understand? So
correct.
that sort of keeping it real with you, man, that affected me for a long time.
Got you. Got you. I
That
know what that
affected me
feels
for.
like.
Of course, you
I
gotta
understand
know.
that.
You gotta also know. Those who know. You know, my father was well known in Glen Cove.
Yes, and he lived the street life, correct?
He lived the street life. But what I'm saying is to be well known like that, and everybody knows, and not have no communication
Mm.
was very detrimental to me in an early age.
So you saying no communication, meaning that there was no relationship between you and your father at the time
There was
too?
no relation. There was no absolutely none.
Got you.
Absolutely none.
Although you looked up to him and Pop, which is your uncle, you looked up to them, but you really wasn't able to get around them because as a young man, you came
Well,
raised by a
I'm
woman.
not going to say them. I'm going to say him.
Him, okay.
Me and my uncle Arthur Taylor was tight. I was with him every day.
Pop, absolutely. Yep,
You understand? Every day I was shotgun.
correct.
I was shotgun. You
Go to the
understand?
store, give me the fishies.
I was shotgun. I was with
Correct.
him more than his kids, to be honest
Absolutely.
with you.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Correct, correct, correct.
So, I stayed around, and then my father would come around, come around, and that's how I had a little bit of communication.
I dig
But
it.
it wasn't like communication, like a son-father communication. It was just like, yeah, man, what's up, man? It wasn't a communication.
How
And I understand the game being, he was a street person.
did
But
you
see,
feel like
I'm gonna go back
yeah,
to this. I'm gonna
absolutely.
go back to this. Now, see, a lot of us don't know. I didn't know his childhood history.
Okay, we getting somewhere.
See,
We
this
getting
is deep.
somewhere. Yep.
This is deep. See, his mother gave him away
Early on in his life.
early on in his life.
Got you.
My step grandmother adopted him. I never knew my real grandmother until I went to a funeral at a casket. I never met her. I met her in
Wow.
the casket. I
Wow.
met her in the casket. And he had deep regrets of how he was raised. I mean, how he was given away.
Yeah. So he may
You
have dealt
understand?
with abandonment issues and things like that.
He had a lot of abandonment issues,
Got it.
and so when I look back now, with a little bit of knowledge that I have,
Correct.
I sort of like understand his behavior
As an adult.
as an adult.
But as a child it was kind of confusing, right?
It was kind of confusing because remind you now, he didn't have no love.
Ooh,
You understand?
that hurts.
I heard it.
That hurts.
So I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like the streets turned him cold.
Mm.
He was cold, man.
Yeah.
He was cold. And I remember, I'm gonna share another quick story with you, Ree, how
Sure,
cold
sure.
it was. I was in the street hustling. I was doing kind of well at this time. I was young. I stayed dressed every day, whatever, whatever. And he came to me one day, and he used to call me Cap. And he said, Cap, look here, man. I know you out here doing what you're doing, but put you some, it rain out here sometimes.
Yo, got put up for a rainy day.
He told me it
Got
rain
to
out here
put up
sometimes.
for a rainy
So
day.
you know me, I'm a fly dude. I'm a fly mouthpiece. I'm talking fly now.
Got the gift of gab. You got
I'm
the
that
gift
young
of gab.
dude now. So I tell him,
Absolutely.
look at man, I don't ask somebody for nothing.
Now,
You know what I'm
yo, I got
saying?
this.
I hold it. I
I
don't
hold
ask
it down.
nobody for nothing. I hold it down. You know what I'm saying? I
Absolutely.
stay fly, keep money in my pocket. So he said, oh, he was like this to me. He said, well, hey, I ain't got nothing to say then.
Yeah.
If you got it covered, I ain't got nothing to
I got
say.
nothing to say. You knew it
So
all at
make a long story short, you know, I'm living, I didn't know really, I'm living what they call a everyday situation. I was just
Day to
having
day.
money I wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? I
Correct,
just,
correct.
yeah, whatever. So in 1984, this was my first arrest. 1984, August 1st, 1984,
How old were you?
uh, 18.
18. First arrest at
My
18 years
career
old.
started at 18. August 1st, 1984, I was 18.
Okay.
And I got knocked off on a sale, cocaine. And I called my dad. At this time, me and him got a little relationship. But it's better than it was when I was a kid.
Correct.
So I say, man, look here, man. He said, what's happening, Cap?
Mm.
I said, man, come and get me. He said, hold up. He said, what you got to go with this?
Uh,
I
what?
said, Dad, nah. See, this is where I really started learning the game. He
Explain
said,
that for
what?
people that don't know.
He
Explain that.
said, he told me I ain't got no, cause he had the money. My bail was
Yeah,
25,000.
absolutely.
He said, I ain't got no problem coming to get you. I'm sure you know that.
But what you got for
But
me?
what do you got to go with this?
What you got? What's coming on the back end of this?
Because we had this conversation. You told me,
You
don't
got
worry
me though.
about you. I was talking fly.
Absolutely.
So I told him like this. I said, listen, man, I got some money tied up.
Mm-hmm.
He said, call me when you get it untied, and hung the phone up.
I don't mean to laugh, but that's a serious gem.
Read,
That's a serious
read,
gem. Hey, you told
read.
me you got it all figured out. So don't call me now when you need help.
Yeah. But the
Untie your
thing was,
situation.
right. The thing was, he was teaching me the game.
Yes, responsibility. So if you're gonna play this game, you gotta understand. You gotta know the rules of how this game is being
Listen,
played.
right. You got to know how this game being played. So, make a long story short, man, I told you, man, me and my uncle Arthur Taylor was tighter than fish grease.
Correct.
I called him up and I told him, I said, yo, my dad bugging, man.
Yeah,
Like, nigga, come on, man. This is my first time ever in trouble.
correct.
And my father told him, man, look here, I don't do it like that.
Mm.
Because I told him, blah, 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 whatever he
Yep,
told
yep.
me, put some money in for the storm. He said, and this was a true story. He told me, man, this was cold blooded to me.
Yeah,
But this is the real game.
absolutely.
He said, I don't throw bricks at the penitentiary for nobody, man.
Mm.
But see, a lot of people don't understand the real game. To be in this game, you got to be cold blooded.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not cold blooded, Reed.
Not cold blooded. Not cold
I'm
blooded.
not, I'm not, I
Not
found
cold
out
blooded.
30, 40 years later that I'm not cold blooded, Reed.
Not at all. You got a conscience. You got a heart.
I
You
got a
care.
heart,
You
Reed.
love.
I care, I love. But
Absolutely.
remind you when I'm telling you that, remind you of his life
He he
that
he
turned
he.
him that way.
Absolutely. So he dealt with
See?
some traumatic issues in his life that led him to be this type of person to even with his own seed, his own child.
Yeah, yeah. So, make a long story short, man, I told you I was real tight with Art.
Correct.
Art broke down and came and got me
Correct. At 18 years old.
at
How long were
18.
you
That's
in there
when
for? You was in there.
I was only in there 5 or 6 days before I got bailed out.
Okay. Okay.
But that's when my
Career of criminal activity per se.
criminal activity, drug use took off.
Drug use.
Drug
Drug
use.
use. So we went from incarceration. Now we experiencing with drugs because that's what was going on at the time. Because you was out there hustling, and that was part of the
That
things
was
you was
part
saying
of the game.
part of the
And
game.
back in the 80s, right? Those who my age, if you was sniffing cocaine, you was that nigga
Yeah, that's what they considered it.
because it was very expensive.
They used to call it a Hollywood drug, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right. OJ Simpson and them had this shit going on. So if you was doing it in the 80s, it was more or less of a trophy.
So it wasn't really frowned upon. It was looking in the 80s. It was something that was looked like almost like, hey, I'm doing my thing. I'm out in the streets hustling. doing drugs, a higher quality of drug because it was cocaine at the time. But it was looking
Right.
like something that, hey, if you're out there in the streets, this is something that's part of the game. If you're doing it on a higher level, you look fly, you drive the nice car, got the ladies, and you sniffing cocaine.
You was that dude. It was considered to be that dude. But I don't want to keep going
You
on
sound
about this.
low. I sound low. I sound low. Hold on, I gotta turn my gain up because Lizzie's saying I sound low. How about now? Yo, yo, yo,
No,
yo,
I
yo,
hear
yo.
you. I hear you well.
Yo, yo, am I higher or lower? Still low? Yo, 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 yo. How about now?
I hear you well, Reed.
No, I know you hear me well, but Liz came in. She hearing on the opposite end. She said that I sound low. So what I'm doing is I'm raising up my volume on the keyboard, and I want to see if I'm sounding louder. We call it the gain. So I'm raising the gain to see if
Okay.
they can hear me. I sound good now. She said now I sound good. So the audio is off a little
Okay.
bit, but it's all good.
All
We
right.
here. We gonna make it
So,
work.
I think, man, like I told you, my higher power, I believe that he do everything for a reason.
Correct.
Like you bringing me here tonight is for a reason.
Absolutely, nothing happens by chance. It's always
Because
divine.
somebody need to hear this.
Absolutely.
And more likely I would like to reach out to the youth,
Correct.
and let them know, man, that this road ain't nothing to play with.
Not at all.
This
Not
road
at
ain't
all.
nothing to play with, man. You know what I'm saying? The glamour and blah blah blah, all that, and the end result, man, you end up losing out on a lot of time, man.
Absolutely.
Especially today, man, because the system today is scared of these young people.
What do you mean scared of the young people?
Meaning, like, you know, when I was growing up, you never heard of a 14-year-old boy carrying a pistol to school, killing
Okay.
somebody.
That wasn't a common thing.
Nah, Reed.
No.
Wasn't none of that. It was
No.
all fist fight.
Yep. If you had a
Knuckle
problem with
up.
somebody, we go out there, we duke it out.
And after that, we shake hands, go get a beer.
Absolutely. Okay.
But ain't no more of that now. Everybody want to be Chuck Connors.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be Chuck Connors, man. But like,
Yep.
I remember I was in Greenhaven Penitentiary, Reed.
Yep.
I was 22 years old. They sent me straight to a max jail, man.
So
Greenhaven.
so explain that when so people don't know that when you were adolescent, younger, 22 years old, you go to a maximum penitentiary.
Go to maximum
What's the
penitentiary,
dynamic of
Greenhaven.
that? How does that look for a 22-year-old? So
When I
normally when
first
people go to
got there,
maxes,
I was on the bus. I was looking up like, God damn, this shit real.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's about ready to get serious.
yeah,
But unfortunately, when I got there, right, there was mad people there that I knew. Family members was there, and they was like in control.
okay, I
They
get
was
it.
very, very much in control. So I
Right.
fell right in. Now, today, when I look at that, that wasn't a good thing for me.
That yes, I see. At 22 years old, so now it's building a level of comfort. You would say?
I got comfortable.
Mm,
I'm in a max penitentiary. I'm comfortable. Blah 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 blah. You understand? I'm running around. Like it ain't nothing. And but I came across some real good people, man. That motherfuckers had 300 years, 250 years.
whoa. Say that again.
Wow, like I'm like, God damn. Like, how do you start this?
You
They got
said
a comp
200,
sheet. Niggas
300
showed me.
years
Yeah, they
to
had a
do.
man there. They had a man there named Max, white man. He was down since 1960. Been down since 1960.
Mm. That's the year my mother
This
was
was
born. Wow.
right. He been down 60 something years. And this was a sad story, man. Me and him used to talk, walk the yard. The police treated him like he was a civilian. That's how long he been there. He
Wow. Like he was
he
somebody
would
off the
go out.
streets.
He could leave the jail, right? They ride him around in the town in the car and bring him
Whoa.
back. Yeah, this is how it was. It was a sad story.
Yeah. Like, is he never
But this is
coming
how they
home?
treated him because he was there that long. And let
Wow.
me tell you this, he could go home any day he wanted to go home. He refused to go home.
Wait, time out. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. You said that he could have went home at any given,
anytime,
but he chose. He
any
chose
day.
not.
He told him what I'm going home for. I ain't, all his family was dead. His wife died. Everything was gone.
So he was actually released, and he didn't want to leave the prison.
Every time he went to the board, he refused it. But they was trying to release him. But he kept refusing it. He didn't want to leave.
Whoa.
He didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave, man. Like I'd be like, yo, Max, man, you know, it's this. He said, I'm not going nowhere. This is my home.
So let me let me
You
let me
know, it
let me,
was
let me
sad story.
get finished. Finish that wisdom. I don't want to cut you off on that.
It was a sad story, man. But you know, he said, what I'm going home to. My wife gone, his kid, everybody was gone, man. Everybody was gone. All he knew for 60 something years was the penitentiary.
Penitentiary. What?
That's all he knew. You understand? He was there 60 something years, man. Almost 70 years, really.
So we talk about these things about environment
So this
playing
is
a
what I
role.
want to say. This is
Yeah,
what,
say that. Say
before I
that. Yeah,
cut
I'm
you
gonna
off,
cut you off.
this is
Yep,
what I
yep.
want to say. They got classes that, I try to educate myself everywhere I go,
Correct.
right? So they had classes, but these people in there with all of this time, 250 years, 300 years,
What?
100 years, 50 to life, 100 to life.
Whoa.
And they said only if they could take 5 seconds to rethink what they did, man.
Wow.
You understand? 5 seconds to rethink what they did. Because most of them had bodies. In Max
Murder.
jail, was murder. You know what I'm saying? But there's the thing what I say to the young people out here, man, like, walking around toting that thing and, you trying to impress somebody or do whatever, you could spend the rest of your life, man, away for not thinking, taking 5 seconds, man, and say,
Wow.
yo, is this worth it, man? Because everybody that was talking,
Yep.
they wanted, um, they they give anything, man, to have another chance, man.
Who?
And this is deep. But anyway, I know you got some questions. I
No.
know, I know you a bookworm. I know you got some questions.
Yeah, no, I'm just intrigued by the stories because I mean, there's a lot of things that I've written down, but beyond that, my whole premise is listening to the stories, and I'm gaining some knowledge on even perspective about some of these things. Like when you say, okay, 5 second decision can end up being a lifelong sentence behind bars where you're never coming home, and then
You
having
never
a
can.
dialogue. I'm listening.
Right. No, I'm
Yeah,
listening to you.
yeah. And it being in this room with these other individuals, having a conversation, 200 years, 300 years, 100 to life, and majority of them saying, only if I had 5 more seconds to make that decision, or if I would have took out 5 seconds to think about the decision that I made. It makes me think about the things that we take for granted. Us being here today in real time, having amounts of gratitude. A lot of times we dismiss these things because we say, you know what, hey, I do it tomorrow. Somebody's tomorrow will be a life changing thing where it's not promised. You may end up dying. You may end up having a life sentence, all of a decision that you made. I was having a conversation with my nephew about road rage because I was explaining to him just in the car. We going to get our haircuts today.
Yeah. Today.
And as we driving, I always talk to him, try to put little gems in them to make him think. And I said, hey,
Yeah.
I was one of those individuals that drive in the car when I was younger and been reckless. I park anywhere, I double park, wrong side of the road, people riding past me, I'm sticking a middle finger at them, road rage, doing it all, just being reckless as a youth. Until one day something happened to me. I'm driving on the Southern State Parkway, going out towards coming around actually on the belt. I'm coming around the Belt Parkway, right, going towards the Verrazano, but passing Francis Lewis, etc. Long story short, the guy's beeping at me. I'm honking at him, thinking I'm doing something big and bravado. Beeping, beeping, beeping. The guy looks at me. He tell me to pull over. I'm like, whatever, whatever. I look back at him. The guy holds up a gun and start tapping the gun on the window. He didn't point it at me, but he put up a gun and start tapping the window. From that
Yeah.
day forward, I said, this road rage ain't worth it. It's not worth my life playing with these people out here. And the thing is,
Yeah.
you don't know what other people are going through. He may have had the worst day of his life. Don't know. And not saying that I should be the consequence of his actions. I'm just saying that a lot of times people not able to control themselves, and when you have lack of control, lack of self control, you're liable to do anything in those moments. And that was a reality check for me. Yo, you need to control yourself, because if I don't control me, there may be some erratic person that, for whatever reason, felt like they need to enforce their thoughts, their feelings, and emotions upon me or another personnel. And I don't want to be a victim of stupidity. I'd rather use
Yeah.
the noggin and say, you know what? Hey, how about I don't carry out road rage? And I was showing Davin today while we driving in the left lane, just going 70 miles per hour. I said, some of these people are going nowhere fast. And watch, there about 4 or 5 cars zooming around me and looking at me as they pass me like this, as if I'm doing
Yeah.
something wrong, driving 70 miles per hour in a 55 already. But I said,
Right.
this is what you need to learn, that, hey, get over to the next lane. Understand that there may be people with road rage. I gave him the same story I'm telling you guys now about how that experience when the guy held up a gun. And I'm like, don't fall victim to these things with other people. Definitely behind the wheel. And these are some of the life lessons that we need to learn. As you telling me, 5 seconds can be a lifelong sentence. And it's all
Yep.
about being able to think through your situations. And a lot of times we're not taught to think. We taught to
See,
just react.
they had a saying, see the situation clearly.
Okay.
That
Explain
was
that.
that was one of the slogans when they had the meetings, see the situation clearly.
What do that mean?
What that mean is like, you know, take time out, man, see the situation clearly. Like, let's say I got 2 kids, I got a wife, I got a mother, I got a blah 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 sister, brother, blah blah blah.
Correct.
Like, instead of, you know, like, because understand, a lot of people don't understand this, man. And when I went to the penitentiary, I took my family with me.
Explain that.
You understand?
Unpack that a
I
little
took
bit.
my family with me. They felt that. So you got to know that, man. Like, with your loved ones, man, when you go, they go with you.
They doing the bid with you. They doing the
They
bid too.
doing the bit with you.
Yep.
It's hard on them.
Absolutely.
You understand? It's hard on them,
Absolutely.
man. You understand? It's hard on them. You think it's all about you. You doing the time. They doing time too.
Yep. Sure is.
They doing time too. So, you know, when they said see the situation clearly, like, think it out, man. Think it out before you act, man. Before you act. Because a lot of times when we act, innocent people that have nothing to do with our lifestyle end up suffering.
Yep.
Cause I know for a fact with me, man, right? I gotta keep it real with you, cause
Absolutely.
through the grace of God, man, that my mom's is still. I put my mom's through a storm.
I can imagine.
She never turned her back on me. I thank God for that.
Okay.
But I put her through the storm. It got so bad, man. I got to keep it 100 with you. That my brothers and sisters didn't want me to come around.
Yeah. Like almost like the bad apple spoiled a bunch, right?
Like you're not gonna kill my mother.
Yeah.
This is what I heard.
Over stress.
Over stress.
I see.
You know, and I remember she used to always say the phone rang late. She
Whew.
she thought it was that call.
Yep. That you no longer here.
Miss Adams, you know, she was waiting on the call.
Yep.
That was crazy. She couldn't sleep.
Yep. Couldn't sleep. Panicking.
But
Thinking
this is
about
what
you
I'm
in the
trying to
street.
tell you when I tell you that other people's behavior affects other people.
Absolutely does.
But we think
Absolutely.
that this is my life. I do what I want. All the negative conversation that we feed our brain.
Correct.
That's so not true. Other people, man, that care about you, they suffer too.
Yep.
They suffer too, They suffer too. But as you get older, man, you don't have to get my age to comprehend this. You understand? You don't have to wait this long because you're hearing it now.
You share.
See, I heard it too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I heard older people like myself telling me the same story.
Yep.
Because believe it or not, man, we had a lot of good mentors at 135.
Absolutely. 135, top of the hill, baby.
We had a lot of good mentors.
Half that.
And one of my favorite mentors at that time was Robert Tucker.
Mr. Tucker sitting on that crate, man.
Tucker had a lot of knowledge.
A lot of game.
Man, look here. He told me, he said, look here. And he been through the game too, the penitentiary, and he know the game.
You know the game.
Right? So, he used to drop jewels on me. Right? I ain't gonna tell a lie, man. He dropped jewels on me.
When I was a pipsqueak, he did the same. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I was young.
Right. So, I didn't take heed to it, man. It would go in one ear, one out the other, because I don't want to hear nothing. I know everything. And then one day he told me something, man. He said, look here, man. It's mathematically impossible for you to know more than me.
You don't got the experience. It's impossible.
No, he said, I was here 35 years before you got here.
Absolutely.
Yes, Dad. Reed, he hit me with that. He sat me down with that one, Reed.
Yeah, it's true.
He said it's mathematically impossible.
It's impossible
for you to know more about life than me. I was here 35 years before you got here.
I seen it all.
I seen it all, man.
Yep.
I seen what you about ready. If you don't change, I see already what you going what's gonna go through.
He see this. He see all of the signs.
Yeah.
He see the behavior changes. He seen how you walking around, how you smiling, how you interact with other people. It's only a matter of time.
I remember, man. Let me tell you something, man. I don't mean to say this, man, but I gotta say it. I remember, man, people that died, got killed. I remember the old timers said, man, it's just gonna be a mad time for somebody to kill a nigga.
Just for the way he act.
Just for the way he act, man.
Yep. And
showing up.
Gone.
Showing up. That's how it happened.
Yep.
And you know, motherfucker that was old, man, look here. Look here. Everybody seen that.
Everybody seen that coming.
Everybody seen that.
Yeah.
Everybody seen it coming.
Yep. Because they say it in California, right? Bigger than the program. So in that context, it's like you can't be bigger than a system. You can't be bigger than what's going on in life and what's going on around you. You can't be bigger if you part of the whole. You can't be bigger than a whole. How is that?
Reed, I'm gonna tell you this, man, and Reed, the system, man, is not designed to be beat. My man in this program, right? Reed, out of 100 people, only 2 succeed in the hustling game. That's the percentage.
That's not a winning game. That's the wrong game.
Reed, 2%.
The wrong
out
game,
of 100. Motherfucker, get some money, get out the game, and prosper.
Yep.
2%.
Most people can't get out because they still a little bit more. This last one, I got one more in me. Oh, this is it right here. And it never, and the last day, you never see the last day. You keep going.
See, I want to also talk about this too. A lot of people, there's many addictions, man, in this life.
Whew.
Many addictions.
Going somewhere.
Now, I know both addictions. I had a few dollars at one time, and I was on my ass at one time. Chasing money is an addiction too, Reed.
Ooh, hold up. I need you to run that back. So you mean to tell me that not only doing drugs is an addiction, you mean selling drugs too?
It's an addiction, Reed. Because what it is, just like I get accustomed to getting high, right?
Yeah.
You get accustomed to a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But here's the catch. I was in a bullpen one time and old timer said, the pimp, the drug dealer, the hustler, blah, blah. He said, man, everybody in the same bullpen. They ain't got separate bullpens.
Everybody in the same bullpen.
Everybody in the same boat.
Everybody in the same.
They ain't got the pimp bullpen over here, the big time drug dealers over here, the crackheads over here, dope. Everybody's in the same motherfucking bullpen.
Yep. Everybody broke the law.
Everybody in the same boat. Ain't no big eyes and big U's in here, man.
Nope.
You understand? So I learned that in the program of state that I got to take ASAP. I'm sure you probably did it too.
Yeah, I did.
That they teach you that a lot of times brothers go upstate fronting right? I don't use drugs, baby, baby. All that. You know how it go, be.
Yeah, I know.
And so when they broke it down, like you're an addict. So, like I just told you, I don't use drugs. I sell drugs, blah blah. He said that's an addiction.
Absolutely.
That's an addiction.
That's an addiction.
That's an addiction, me. That's why motherfuckers that come home and get a few dollars, that's why they go back. It's just like getting high. Motherfucker
Yeah.
go back, start getting high. Motherfucker go back, start getting money. But the results are still the same.
You said something very key early on. Behavior.
Behavior.
When we going out there and we doing the same things, it has an effect on us. We go to the same environments, it has an effect on us. We carrying out the same thoughts. When we don't change the mindset, it has some consequences. And the thing is, if we don't change our behavior, if we don't get around different things, if we don't see differently, if we don't program our mind to pick up different habits of doing something other than what we've been doing, is that same thing what you talked about, insanity, doing the same exact thing, expecting a different result. It would you
We
would
I
never.
came home. I came home 4 times, released from prison,
Mm-hmm.
selling drugs, selling drugs, selling drugs, selling drugs. Read,
Yeah,
read. Like that's that's insane.
absolutely.
Thinking that I could do a little slicker, I could do a little smoother. They ain't gonna know. They ain't gonna find out. Read.
Yep.
And within a year time, probably tops, I was back incarcerated again, man. You know, back incarcerated. And I'm like, damn, man. Whew. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? But again, it was my behavior.
Yeah. From the past, from some of the things that you experienced, some of the hardships, have you changed some of your behaviors from what you used to carry out then? When you say, "Man, I was out there," when I was on drugs, selling drugs, from where you at in your life today,
See, let me
did
tell you this,
things?
right?
I'm listening.
People, places, and things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I have nobody in my circle, right, today
Mm-hmm.
that get high.
Beautiful thing. Commend. Round of
Nobody.
applause for that one.
Nobody. My circle now, they ain't perfect,
Yeah, not at all.
but we ain't talking about go copping.
Yeah, you
That
removing that.
topic ain't even
Yeah,
in
we're
the
not having
game.
that type of conversation.
We're saying,
Yeah, we're not having that.
we're not even entertaining that.
Because we
So,
know where that leads to. Mr. Tuck
a
used to
major
say,
a
I've
major
seen that.
situation, people don't understand this, man. You know, people, places, and things, man. A lot of times, man, this is a number one scenario right here. People come home, they've been clean 2 years, 3 years. They want to they want to go see Joe Blow.
Yeah,
Joe Blow is doing the same thing when you left.
yeah.
They're
They
doing
do
the
that too.
same thing. But now here it is now. You've been going 2 or 3 years, whatever it may be. Joe Blow ain't sent you a stamp.
Nope.
But yet you want to go check on Joe Blow. That's not what that is that's a reservation.
That's a reserve. That's the back. Yeah,
It's a
that's the check.
reserve.
Yep, that's a reserve.
See, you gotta know your triggers.
Yep.
That's a
Triggers.
reserve. You know what I'm
Triggers.
saying? Because anybody that's trying to do the right thing or do something different, they're not going that route.
Let me ask you this. You think people look for reasons to go back to some of the old habits that they used to carry out? I like prime example. I'm gonna say this like for me, right? I'm in the gym. I'm active. Do my thing in the gym.
Yeah.
There are times where I look for, man, I do want a snack right now, but I do some things purposely, doing things on purpose. I get in my car and I drive around, and I just so happen to ride past the grocery store, or just so happen to drive past the cookie shop or the donut
Yeah.
shop, and I say, it's only one. So I find myself, even somebody that still deals with addiction on different levels, right? Because we all have
Yeah.
habits and addictions. I find
Food is
myself
addiction.
food is an addiction. So
Read.
it it's a mentality that we all adopt on some level. It could be food, It could be drugs. It could be hustling. It's many forms and variations of addiction that the world that we all succumb to at times. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, you absolutely, you're 120% right. You're 120% right. But you gotta understand, man. Like we're gonna make mistakes.
Correct.
There's no way around it. We there is no perfect human being on this earth.
No.
Not none. We're gonna slip up and eat a cookie.
Yep.
We're gonna slip up and do something that we ain't supposed to do.
Correct.
And there's nothing wrong. I'm not. As long as I'm not talking about the use of
Being
drugs.
perfect.
I mean,
You're not talking about being perfect. We don't got to be perfect.
right. I'm not talking about because the drug thing is a totally different thing. That's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, just average things that we're not supposed to do, or we feel like we're not. I'm borderline diabetic, right?
Yeah.
I still snack here and there, but man, I know I'm not really supposed to be doing it.
Correct.
You understand? I know I'm not certain things I'm not supposed to eat. I don't eat as I rationalize because that's what we do.
Yeah.
When we make bad decisions, for the most part, we rationalize it.
Let me ask you this question, right? Out of the things that you experienced, right? When it came to just an addiction, changing that. How when you relapsed, right? For whatever it is, whatever reason, what were some of the things that drew you back? Because we say, I said for me, getting in the car and say, hey, I gotta go take out the trash. End up in my car driving past the grocery store, and I'm eating a donut. 10 minutes later.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. This is funny now. I can laugh at it now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always wanted celebrity status.
Dig it.
Hear me out, Reed.
I'm listening.
Right?
I'm listening.
So I used to build my money up, get it up.
Correct.
He getting it.
Yep.
Right? Check it out. Check out the behavior. Check the neighbor. Now I go to a crack spot, right? Mm-hmm. I'm running shit.
Yeah.
I'm running shit. Hold up. It's funny today. Now I go to some crack house.
I know how this shit go. I got
1,500, 2,000 in my pocket, 14, 20 grams. I'm running shit. Reed, I'm that nigga. It's funny today. Reed, I always wanted to be that nigga. Nigga, go to the store, man. Here, take this. I'm calling shots.
Absolutely.
When you look back at this shit, man, right? My man, say he said, nigga, he told me, man, when I left that motherfucker, I was worse than the motherfucker that was in there. But I always wanted to be that nigga.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You understand?
That's a fact.
I was that nigga for 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely.
Right? Now I can laugh at this shit because, I see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anybody, my man said anybody could be a superstar in the crack house. Yeah. What do it take? But in my sick way of thinking, at that present time, I was running shit.
Yeah.
See, this is the cycle.
Yeah.
It's a cycle, man.
Yep.
And I did that, man. I can't even call how many times I did it. But I did that a lot, man.
Yep. Chasing the wrong things.
Now I got a duck and hide. My self-esteem is gone. Mm-hmm. I don't want nobody to see me. It's just crazy, man. Yeah. And you continue to get high because you don't want to deal. You don't want to deal with reality. Ooh. See, that's what I want to talk about now. You don't want to. That's why people get high, Reed. Because don't get this fucked up. Getting high for a short period of time denies you reality. Don't get this wrong. Drugs work.
They do.
Why you think people stay out there?
Yeah.
They work.
It's an escape.
They work. Weed, alcohol, all that shit, cocaine, crack, whatever. It works.
It works.
It
Escaping
works.
reality. Escaping reality.
It takes you away. It keeps you out of reality.
Wow.
That's why motherfuckers stay. That's why motherfuckers do what they do.
Yep.
But what I learned that I don't care what you do or how long you do it. None of us on this planet can duck reality.
Not at all.
Sooner or later, my mother used to tell me, you can run, but now he's gonna knock back on the door. What's up? You ready?
Yep. Sure enough.
You ready?
Sure enough.
Now you can pick another drink up or pick another drug up and duck it for another day or two, but it's gonna knock back on the door.
Yep. Once you sober up, they knocking again.
They knocking again, Reed. You know, but back to I want to go back to something, man. You know, with the youth, man. Like you don't gotta be my age, man, to catch reality. Because if I would have caught reality in my 20s, my first stint, I probably would be in a much better position right now.
Yeah.
In life. But I'm grateful.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful. I gotta stay humble. It could be worse.
Absolutely.
You understand? I could be back out there. I could, it could be a lot of things. So I'm very grateful. But what I'm trying to say is, man, don't think, because when I was young, I always said I got time to get it right.
Until 30 years later, and we still talking about getting it right.
Still, time that went by, I'm still talking about I got time to get it right. I got time to get it right. I'm only 21. I can still play out here, bit for a minute, about 20 years, man, go by so fast, man. It's scary.
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye. A blink of an eye, Reed. 20 years go by like that. So what I say to y'all, man, is that the time is today, man. Ain't no tomorrow out here, man, because we ain't promised tomorrow.
Not at all.
We're not promised tomorrow, man. So the time is now, today. While you still got your health and everything is, seen to be okay, man, do something constructive with your life, man, because, I know this for a fact, man, the street don't love nobody.
Not at all.
My father used to tell me, this was another jewel. He said, everybody love a winner. Mm-hmm. When you winning, yo, Reed, what up, nigga, my motherfucking man. Bip, 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 right?
Yep.
Everybody love that.
Yep.
He said, fall out here. When you fall.
Yeah, back pocket. Huh.
See who gonna be there with you.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm gonna short this up because it was that time. I did a 5-year stint. I came home. My mother was living on Crap Mountain. I got parole there. Came home, hugged her, sat down for a minute. She said, sit down for a minute, Pierre. I want to talk to you. I know you're grown. You're going to do what you want.
Correct.
But check this out. She said, you've been gone 5 years. She said, ain't nobody came by here yet.
Whew.
Holy shit.
Whew. Ain't that a reality check?
Huh?
Ain't that a reality?
She said, I just want to let you know. Ain't nobody came by here yet. Wait.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yep.
You understand? That was a deep shot, man.
Yep.
That was deep, Reed.
Wow.
She said nobody came by here yet.
Nope.
I went down the hill, Crab Avenue, 135, jam packed. That's from 135. Oh shit! I know they ain't my nigga.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
They got the weed. They got the drink. It's a party time
man,
now.
Yo, you already know what we doing tonight. We popping it.
Yep. But they ain't gonna check on your mother. They ain't gonna put nothing on your books. They ain't do none of that.
They ain't send me a stamp, but they can buy me a bottle of liquor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And put me right back in the game.
Yep. Put you right back in the game because they don't want
you right back in the game. That was here. Put you right back in the game. Couldn't send you up back then. This was, man, stamps probably was 32 cents or maybe cheaper than that. I don't even know.
Yep.
Couldn't even put a stamp on the envelope. Yo,
Mail
man,
something out. Yep.
mail something out. But now when I get home, they want to give you a party,
Yeah.
right? This is all false reality.
Yeah.
You can give me a party, but you couldn't send me a bottle of water.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm at my lowest. At my lowest, nobody came to my rescue. So
You
that shows
understand?
us ain't nobody gonna save us.
Ain't nobody gonna save you, Reed.
We gotta
Ain't
save. We
nobody
gotta
gonna
save
save you,
ourselves.
man. You gotta
Yep.
save you. I'm so glad you touched that, man, because many people have reached out trying to save me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Jumped in front of cars and everything.
Yeah.
Until I made a conscious decision to do something different, that's when change started.
Boom. Change happened
You
when you were
understand?
ready.
Now remind you, my mother is a drug counselor for over 40 years. She couldn't save me.
Wow.
Read, I got counselor in the house.
Absolutely. That notice in
40
and out.
something years, 45 years. She couldn't save me. Read.
Yep.
Nobody can save you. You have to save yourself.
When you ready.
People can talk. I heard it every night. And it's
What
still, you know what I'm saying?
what
It's
was
still,
that change? What made you take that different leap of faith and say, you know what, I'm going in this direction? Were you tired?
I
Was
gotta
it
be
something
honest
that
with
you
you,
read?
man. I
Something
gotta be
you
honest with you. I gotta
Yeah.
be honest with you, man. Right? One time before I got right, my brother like, yo, man, my brother Dow, he's like, yo, nigga, you gotta do something different, man. You gotta try
Yeah.
something different.
Try something different.
He said, yo, you gotta try something different, man. Like, like, you keep doing the same thing, mama. You just gotta do something different.
Correct.
So I said, and it hit me like, damn, man, I know everything they saying is right, but this time, not only was it right, I acted on it.
Oh, so you took action.
I took action.
That's big. That's huge right
Took
there.
action, Reed. I took the step. I,
Absolutely.
I, I leaped out there and took the step. You understand? I leaped out
Absolutely.
there on faith, right? Because I remember my man told me he got 42 years clean. My man, he told me, he said, look here, man, this is what I want you to do. He said, give it 1 year, man.
Mm.
He said, if you don't like the results, you always can go back to do what you
What you
normally
been
do.
doing?
Right. He said, but give it,
Give it a
because I
year.
never gave it a chance, Reed, to be honest with you.
Oh, so when you was out there doing wrong, you knew you was gonna do wrong regardless. Only a
Right.
matter of
I
time.
never,
Your mind was
never,
made up.
I never fully gave it a
Committed.
chance.
Yep. You never gave it
Back
a chance.
here, back here, back here, I already knew I had reservations, but I was trying to fool motherfuckers, making them think that I wasn't gonna fuck around. I'm just gonna get money, whatever insanity I was thinking. But way back here, I had a reservation
What led
because
to this?
another person, I'm not gonna say their name, but
Yeah.
they told me, and he put a rock. He took a rock off the ground.
Mm.
I never forget this shit. He said, "Doc, this is cocaine." He put it on like on the ground. He told me. He said, it's just cocaine. He said, as long as you don't touch that motherfucker, you're gonna win.
Mm.
Just don't pick it up.
Just don't pick it
Reed, you
up.
see how simple this shit is?
Simple. We make it super
We,
complex.
we complicate this shit.
Yep. We make it
Reed,
complicated.
that was the most simplest thing
Analogy.
I've ever
Yep.
heard. He said
Yep.
that bitch ain't got no power unless you pick it up.
If you pick it up.
He said you pick it up, you play. He said you playing Russian roulette.
Yep.
Whether it's to sell it
Or use it.
or use it,
Yep.
you're still playing Russian roulette.
Yep.
And that was the easiest scenario for me to grasp, man. But I really appreciate, man, because a lot of people don't know this either, man, right? When you come on platforms like this,
Correct.
you do it to help hopefully somebody hear you, but it's really for you.
Absolutely.
See, a lot of people
100%.
understand. You understand?
100%.
A lot of people don't know that. You know,
Absolutely.
you're hoping that somebody grasps something, but
Yep.
if not, guess what?
I got something out of it.
I got something out of it.
True
You
indeed.
understand? So with that being said, Mr. Reed, JR, man, I love you, man.
I love you more, cousin.
Oh man, you know, I appreciate you, man. Even through storms, I appreciate you.
Come on, you know.
And you know, your mom's, man, you know, I love your mom to death, man.
Your heart of gold. She's the illest. You know she's the illest.
She ain't nothing to play with. She ain't nothing to play with. Yeah, she ain't nothing to play with. I hope she watching. I hope she watching.
She gonna be watching. She gonna be watching. She definitely gonna be watching.
Yeah, I hope she hear this. I love you. I killed somebody over you tonight. Boy, but you ain't nothing to play with.
Mama love ain't nothing to mess with, dog.
Boy, look here. Boy, I told you late you gotta turn your hand over. Boy, yes, there. But you know how we do, man. Absolutely. There is no no in that game.
Not at all.
There is no no, nigga.
That's a fact.
You understand? That's how we are. There is no no, nigga.
There's no no. Yup.
There's no no, nigga. I might not be able to do what you want, but there is no no.
There's no no.
I'm gonna meet you halfway or somewhere on this path. You understand?
Absolutely.
But there is no no.
Yep, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's a good thing though. That's a good thing, man.
True indeed.
But you know, it's past curfew.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yo, we had a
and once again, Reed, I want to, you know, already know, man.
Yeah,
I want the best for you, man.
Absolutely.
If you keep going, I told somebody, somebody told me really, like they talked about your consistency.
Correct.
I don't know if they ever told you, but me and them always talking. Me and Quan always talk about your consistency.
Oh yeah, Cuzzo. Yeah, absolutely.
Cuzzo. But you know, Cuzzo got some shit with him too. But we love that nigga. We love him. I'll be listening.
You love him.
We love him.
Yo,
yes,
we love him.
But
yo,
you know, he got some shit with you.
Yo,
but I'm gonna tell you
all the time.
See, one thing I'm gonna say. He got some shit with him. But again, when it comes to family, nigga, it's real.
Oh, it's real. You don't play no games with that.
Everything stops.
And you know.
So I can say this. I can say this about him. You know, you got to be close to one lung. Hey, I know that nigga. He gotta be close to one lung, and he gonna come through. But he gonna wait till the last minute to make sure. He gonna ask the doctor.
Is he breathing?
He gonna ask the doctor, how long you got before we do this? Listen, if the doctor say, listen, he got 20 hours. He said, I'll be back at 18. He all right. See, Ray, this is what it's all about, man. Taking, enjoying, being able to laugh, because laughing is healthy, Reed.
Absolutely, Finley.
Laughter is healthy, man. For sure. So I just wanted to share a few jokes, man.
Yeah,
because I like to laugh today, man. I like to have fun. I like to laugh.
We got to, Finley.
You understand? But I'm gonna grab something to eat, man.
Yeah, dude, you gotta
I ain't really ate nothing today.
Yeah,
but I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you more.
All jokes aside, man. So I'll hit you up. I hit you up later on or tomorrow.
Absolutely. About to sign out. So today was a wonderful podcast. We are super, super appreciative for my cousin P coming on. Every time I say in the chat, cousin P, this is exactly who I'm talking about. Because he always showing up, always showing the support, always tapped in, always commenting. And today was one of those days where he gifted us with his presence. And we took a lot. He said a lot. There's so much more to unpack. You're walking testimony. And there's so much more.
Reed, let me tell you something about this quick.
Yep.
We all got to listen. Our test, I never forget I heard this. Our test is for a testimony. That's why we're being tested. Yep. That's why we're being tested. Do you understand? Our trials and tribulations and our test through life is for a testimony. Somebody need to hear. Somebody need to hear.
Yep.
Somebody need to hear your story.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know who you might help with your story.
Indeed.
All right. So once again, man, peace, beloved.
Yes, peace, God.
All right, peace.
So we out of here.
All right, we out of here. Oh man, I had to mention you in there.
Cause we good?